It's time to breathe again on the Breath of Fresh Air webcast on YouTube and Facebook. I like how you did that, Patrick. Go ahead and plan a drink so you can't say anything at the open.
Only smart water would pay me.
Got right. So it's good to be on the show. Glad to have everybody with me or with us. Sorry. Oh, damn, the phone. Ugh. I
I do
know.
that all the time. I mean, like literally, I need to cut mine down because if I don't, I'm gonna get interrupted here in a minute. I know I will.
Just a bunch of things.
Yeah.
Oh, so as you can see, you got both of us here. Got me, Charles. Patrick is with me, and let's get right to a lot of the stuff. I mean, there's a lot going on. Of course, uh, football just started up, or excuse me, football just started up. Basketball just started up today. I know. I'm a little discombobulated.
Is it that dark room you're in?
And I know, man. Hey, man, on my staycation, but not a lot of lights in here. But let's start with the college football playoff, Patrick. We're gonna rail on this one more time. So, it we all know the four teams by now. It's Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State, and Notre Dame in that order. Alabama will play Notre Dame in AT&T Stadium here in Arlington. Since that game got moved, of course, it is the Rose Bowl, but because California's strict COVID laws, they decided to move the game to here. So that game will be in AT&T Stadium. The Sugar Bowl will have Clemson and Ohio State playing in New Orleans. And I don't know. Look, we're not surprised, of course, by how this went. But number one, it doesn't make it any less garbage. And number two, Patrick, this is a Power Five conference invitational. That's what this is. It's nothing. It's nothing any more than that. If you're in the Power Five conference, you have a chance to play. If you are in one of the lesser conferences, you don't have a shot. And they made it apparently clear with the rankings after the top four. So we all knew the top four, but they went and put Oklahoma in the top six and moved Cincinnati down. Cincinnati was over Oklahoma
Which is
before the
that was true.
yeah. Cincinnati was over Oklahoma last week, and now because Oklahoma won the Big 12 with I think it was 27-21 victory over Iowa State. Cincinnati played. They beat Tulsa in the American Athletic Conference Championship game. But they had told us Cincinnati was getting punished basically because they hadn't played. That's basically what the rankings told us. Cincinnati was getting punished because they didn't play. They had a game that was canceled with Tulsa conveniently because of COVID things. So now Cincinnati plays and they still get moved down. Garbage. All of it's garbage. All of it.
Every bit of it. Every bit of it. Because you're gonna punish Cincinnati for not playing. What about Ohio State? So this is what this tells me right here. This tells me that Ohio State is catered to. Everything about this whole college football playoff system, they're catering to Ohio State. And until further notice, that's what I see. Every single year, this is going to tell me that Ohio State got in because they're Ohio State. And they should have been beat by Northwestern. Bro, they should have been beat. How do you have a running back throw up over 320? He threw up 326 rushing yards.
I was wondering.
Still only won by 12.
I was wondering because it just seemed to me, because I watched a good amount of the Big Ten championship game. That just for, among other reasons, to see just if there was any inkling of me saying Ohio State belongs.
I did too.
Of course.
I did too. I was like, please give me a reason. I was telling Ohio State, I was talking to the TV. I was like, please give me a reason to know that this team deserves to be in the top 4 because I know they're going to be there, whether they win or lose. At this point, I think they could have lost 5 of their 6 games and they still would have been in. That's how much I really think that this whole ranking system caters to the freaking Ohio State. They could have lost all 6 games. At least they played 6. 4. I'm like, what? How do you lose 6 games and you still get ranked 4th? I don't know. As Coach Day and the Ohio State Buckeyes, how they cheat because they're cheaters.
What's going on, Danica? Merry Christmas to you too. Thanks for tuning in, of course, by the way, as well. Appreciate it.
But they're cheaters.
Yeah.
Every bit of them. Justin Fields, if they come back to Georgia, cheater.
Well, but here's the thing. So 320 something yards Trey Sermon had. I was wondering if Northwestern was going to appreciate it, Danica. You know what? That's what it's all about, having fun. Yes, we get on here, we talk about sports, we talk about other topics, but if you have fun watching us, that's what it is all about at the end.
Ohio State makes it unfun.
So I'm waiting for Northwestern to make some sort of adjustment. Can we bring a safety into the box? Can we do something to try to slow this renegade down? Because it was apparent Ohio State knew Justin Fields did not have it that day. Justin Fields was struggling mightily to get anything going before they decided they were going to just go with the straight running attack.
9 for 65 with 2 interceptions.
They had 6 points, Patrick. 6 in the third quarter. Northwestern just could not make a play to start putting that pressure on Ohio State to have to make some plays before it got too late. They were able to stay within striking distance, and then it was just Trey Sermon left, Trey Sermon right, and then you have your 320-something yard performance. But just back on just trying to see something that says, hey, Ohio State, hey, baby, they can be one of the best 4 teams. Best 4 teams according to the committee. And I didn't see that at all. I saw a team that was sluggish. I saw a team that really didn't look that good. And they're playing Clemson. I know they played last year. It was a close game when they played last year. But I think Clemson this year, if they don't win by 2 or 3 touchdowns, I'm surprised. What are you going for?
I'm going 4, and I hope it 2-0.
Me too. Yeah, I wanna absolutely.
I hope they blow the doors off of Ohio State, and then turn around, pick them up, put dynamite on, and blow them off again. No, because dude, it's just this to me. Let me know that the entire committee catered this entire season to Ohio State. And I think it's very unfortunate. I think it's so unfortunate because of teams like Texas A&M, Oklahoma, Coastal Carolina.
Yeah, Cincinnati.
Cincinnati, Indiana. At least they played one more game than Ohio State. I would have gave them the nod before I gave Ohio State the nod. But you know what? With all that being said, you got to look at the pro to the whole thing. Sermon, man, congratulations on your 326-yard day, man. That was very impressive. I don't care what division or conference you're in. You put up 326 rushing yards. That is not to be overlooked, and that was a heck of a day for him. So congratulations on that. I will give him that.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean it's a big number.
That is a very big number. I mean, it was so big that I started looking out, seeing who ran the most, and you got there's quite a few people. It actually happens quite more often than you think. I can't remember who it is, but the record for most rushing yards in a game is like 467 in a game, bro. Did you know that?
No, what in where? Like
I
what
have to
level?
look it up, but while you talk, I'll look it up. But it's crazy, and I just wanted to. I hate on Ohio State all the time, man. But bro, that's an impressive number, and congratulations on that. And way to do your thing, man. That's impressive. I don't care what conference you're in. When you put up 300 plus yards in a season in a game, that needs to go noticed. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, he broke the record. I think Eddie George had the Russian record for
314.
for Ohio State. I remember looking at a lot of that game. It was against Illinois, and yeah, Eddie George. I mean, look, Eddie George was a beast back in the day when he played, and I mean that record stood for 25 years. I was like, yeah, a quarter century. So it, yeah, good on Trey Sermon for being able to do that. One more thing with the
Here it is.
huh?
Here it is, real quick. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but it's like Sam G. Perrine.
Oh, Samaje Perine, Oklahoma.
Yeah, that guy. He threw up 427 against Kansas in November 22nd, 2014. And that was
Yes,
a week after Melvin Gordon threw up that 400 and some yard performance.
yes, Samaje Perine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I knew you would know.
Oklahoma.
I knew you would know how to pronounce it. You practice that shit all the time. I don't know how to, I don't know how to practice people's names. You just do it. I'll let you do it.
No, no. One more thing, man, before we move off the railing of the college football playoff. I wanted to address the Texas A&M thing because, look, you and I had already said Texas A&M would be in our top four based off of what we knew was going to happen. We knew they probably weren't going to make it. Then when Notre Dame got the doors blown off of them by Clemson, it became a lot closer between them and Texas A&M. What I'll say to the Texas A&M fans and to fans of the SEC also, and you and I are both fans of the SEC, but Jimbo Fisher, after they beat Tennessee, he got loose. He said, "We played an SEC schedule with 9-1. We definitely deserve to be in there." That dog hunts in most years. Not so much this year, though, Patrick, because the SEC, you'll agree with me, it wasn't that strong this year, dude. It was. Yeah, and that's the thing, because normally pretty much any other year, Jimbo Fisher, if he said that any other year, you could say, well, yeah, you're
But
playing a
you also have to look at Florida's 3 losses.
yeah, and that's probably their best win.
Yeah, but their 3 losses. I mean, you look at Florida's 3 losses. 2 of those losses came to people that wouldn't have been on their schedule if it wasn't for Corona.
It's true. I mean, but
No.
a lot of people they dealt with coronavirus switches. I mean, shoot, BYU had to switch their whole schedule up. So,
Yeah. And I give this to Jimbo Fisher. I will give him this. And this is just me. I am going to say this. It was weaker than normal. But also, if I look at what Jimbo Fisher was going to have to play, technically, he would have probably went 11-1 this year. I mean, because if you start looking at non-conference wins, you look at Florida. Florida probably would have went 10-2. Because they wouldn't have normally had LSU and Texas A&M, so they would only had Texas A&M and LSU, so they wouldn't have had Alabama. So if you start looking at what they normally would have had, I think they would have failed a little better than what you fall if you have an all conference schedule. But with that being said, the fact of the matter is they weren't that strong. I mean, you look at Georgia 7-2. They just weren't as strong as they could have or should have been. Florida wasn't as strong as they could have been. South Carolina, tons of mistakes throughout the whole year. The only team that I really would say is just like flat out was just really good was Alabama. And that would have been it.
Yeah, and the LSU, that's the one. I mean, you're expecting LSU to be better than they were. I get they lost a lot of people to the draft, but LSU has enough talent that they're recruiting from, specifically in Louisiana, and they're able to get players from other states as well. You would think LSU should be able to reload a little bit better than what they showed.
And they did. I mean, you're a top 10 in recruiting. Don't tell me, that's the one thing that many people will go to. Well, we had a bad season because we lost all our players. True, I get it. But so did Alabama, and so did Georgia. Alabama recruited quite well. They were ranked third in their in recruiting. Georgia should have done 10 times better than what they did, but because they were ranked one, they were ranked number one in recruiting. But yet here we are, 7-2. I'm not going to blame it on anything other than we as a team did not show up. We're number one going in against Alabama. We're number one in defense. Yet a number one offense threw 44 points on that defense that should have rightfully contained that Alabama offense. I'm not saying Georgia should have won. What I'm saying is that Alabama offense should have been better contained. Not the 44 points contained. I'm talking like 24 points contained. But
yeah. Now, well, yeah. So before we move on, though, Patrick. So what are your scores for these two playoff games?
So we got Alabama versus Notre Dame. I'm going to predict this one to be, unfortunately, it's going to be a blowout. I got Alabama 42-10.
All right, Clemson, Ohio State.
Clemson, Ohio State. I hope this is a blowout. Like I told you, I hope this is 52-0. But I think it's going to be 35-7. Clemson.
That's a blowout. So
it's not as bad of a blowout as it should be. I'm actually giving Ohio State 7 points.
So the Alabama Notre Dame score is pretty accurate with what I was going to say. I think Alabama might score a double nickel. So I think I'm gonna score. I'm going 55 to 20, something like that. 55 to 28. We'll go there, like 55-28. And Clemson, Ohio State. I think Ohio State will show up for the first part of the game, but I'm thinking Clemson will pull away. I'm gonna give Clemson I can go 34-20. Yeah, I'll go 34-20. So there you go. We got Alabama and Clemson meeting for a national championship game for the third time in 5 years. Well, let's move on, Patrick, to the NFL. And I want to start with the New York Jets because, man, they won a game. They beat the Los Angeles Rams 23-20. So here's the thing with this. I wrote down, got my trusty paper here. I wrote down a couple of headlines from the Jets winning because obviously this is their first win. And the mainstream media with their lazy asses, yes, I said it, their lazy asses, wanted to make up these headlines. They want to say the Jets should just basically tank it out. You know how we feel about people saying anybody should tank. But I wrote down a couple of these headlines. The first one is from ESPN. And this pretty much right after the game ended. Jets win first of season, comma, lose hold on top draft choice or top draft spot. That was ESPN's headline. This is from Bleacher Report. Jets win but lose. You know, I am still baffled and dumbfounded and honestly sad and hurt how we can continuously reward losing and tanking. How is this possible? How can you, as a media member, go out here and say, man, the Jets won? Screw the Jets. They messed up the number one draft choice. You know what? If you were such a knowledgeable fan, like a lot of these people and a lot of these analysts claim to be such great analysts, you would know, number one, even if you did end up drafting Trevor Lawrence or whatever quarterback comes there, the Jets need a lot of help, a whole lot of help. So drafting Trevor Lawrence alone is not turning around your fortunes. You have a long way to go. And again, no quarterback has done anything without an offensive line. And I don't care what you want to say, because everybody also wants to say it's a quarterback-driven league. Well, even the great Patrick Mahomes, when we look at what Patrick Mahomes is doing, have you seen all those weapons he has in Kansas City to throw to? Is he doing that all by himself?
Do you also see that he has a 3.5-second pocket?
Yeah, right. So come on, y'all. Stop with the whole quarterback driven league. Yes, I get it. The quarterback is the most important, one of the most important positions, if not the most important position in all of sports. But let's not act like the quarterback is doing this alone. But back on the Jets, dude, this whole trying to reward tanking, trying to get teams to tank, it's sickening. It is really, really gross to see. And I am, for one, very, very happy the Jets came out there, competed, because they had every reason to say we'll just not show up. They had every reason to say that. They are 0-12 going into this game. Well, 0-13 going into this game. They just got blown out 40-3 by the Seattle Seahawks the week before. They had every single reason to say, you know what, screw it. But Patrick, these are professionals. They get paid lots and lots of money. A lot of them might even be trying to audition to other teams because they're not trying to be with the Jets next year anyway. So there's a lot of pride that is there. Just imagine, for all those people who want to say the Jets should have tanked, just imagine somebody coming into your workplace and you're out here, you're busting it, but things just aren't quite working out the best. You're catching L's and you're still trying to bust it, you're still trying to fight, but then somebody comes in there and say, nah, man, just continue to suck. Just wake up and be garbage. You're not going to want to hear that. If you have any kind of pride, you're not going to want to hear that.
I'm going to tell you right now, as an employer, I can tell you, continue to suck and see what happens.
You're not going to want to hear that. As an employer, as an employee, or as an employee especially, you're not going to want to hear, hey, man, just continue to tank, just be trash. And again, these people get paid lots and lots of money. Some pride shows up somewhere. They're pros. I know the Jets are garbage, but they do play in the NFL. They're pros.
Yeah.
And they don't want their name stuck with an 0-16 label.
Not like the Browns.
You're right. So,
dude, you said everything that needed to be said. Right there. That right there. That if anything else, you do not want to be labeled as a team that went 0-16. I mean, I look at the Browns that year they went 0-16. Bro, they fought, and they still they just were not good. They fought in every game. They tried to compete, and the problem is that they would just, on paper and on the field, they just weren't good. They just weren't. And it's not that they had bad players. They had some really good players. You're not going to make anything out of a bunch of people that want the ball, that have to have the ball. You know what I mean? You're just not. And that team just statistically was not good. So they went 0-16. You don't want that label. I don't want that label. That's like going in and being like, man, I've been fired from 20 jobs. Why not make it 21?
I'm already trash. Let
Dude,
me just continue to get more trash.
I'm probably going to get a really good job if I continue doing this. Bro, I've been fired from 15 jobs, man. I'm about to get that Super Bowl job. I can feel it.
And Patrick, let me ask you this also. Is Trevor Lawrence to you this transcending quarterback that everyone tends to lean toward? Because I'm not really seeing that. I think he's good. I'm not saying he's terrible at all, but I don't look at Trevor Lawrence, or at least I'm having a hard time looking at Trevor Lawrence like he is this can't miss pick. Like I have to get Trevor Lawrence. If I want my franchise to have 10 years of fortune and everything turns around, I have to get Trevor Lawrence. I don't see him that way.
I do see him as a quarterback that could move to the he could move the Jets to the next level. Because you get Trevor Lawrence in there, all of a sudden now you have people that may want to play there. Right now, you don't have anybody to play there. I mean, don't get me wrong. Jets come up to me and be like, "Hey, Patrick, I need you to go catch one pass. I'm gonna pay you I'll pay you $250,000 this year, bro. I will sign with them yesterday.
Yeah,
I will sign with them yesterday.
I'm stretching right now.
Yeah. What are you stretching for? Where's the pen? I'm stretching for the pen. Give me that pen. I will sign with you yesterday. But there's not a lot of people out there wanting to play for the Jets. And like you said, they had every opportunity to just throw it away on Sunday, but they didn't. And I want to say, good for you. Good for you, New York Jets, because you get paid all this money, go out and compete, but give a reason for people to want to come there. And I think Trevor Lawrence is that person that would do that. I don't think he is a transcending quarterback that will win a Super Bowl for the Jets, by no means. I think Trevor Lawrence has to have Clemson type weapons in his art. I mean, like he would do very well in Kansas City. I think he would do very well in Seattle, but put him in New York, no, he becomes a regular quarterback. Put him in Atlanta, he becomes a regular quarterback. Put him in Cleveland, he becomes a regular quarterback. Put him in Detroit, he becomes a regular quarterback. He's not a transcending quarterback that's going to win a Super Bowl unless you put him in a team at Kansas City, Seattle, maybe Pittsburgh, if Pittsburgh decides that they would actually like to play football now that you go on 11-game winning streak and now you're on a 3-game winning streak, and they're streaks right now.
Well, we're going to get on Pittsburgh here in a little bit because they have some issues as well. But first, Patrick, so we agree with the Jets thing, right? All right. Well, before we get to the Steelers, I have to get to this case with the Washington football team because apparently they have a quarterback, Dwayne Haskins, who, they got beat by Seattle on Sunday, 20-15, pretty close game. Washington competed, had a chance to win at the end, but couldn't make the plays. And Dwayne Haskins, like, you know what? I'm going to hang out with some strippers. Now, so apparently, he was at, I don't know if this was a party or if he was at a strip club. More on that in a minute as well, because the reporting about this, very, very sketchy. as usual with reporting. But someone took a picture of him hanging out with strippers, and with the COVID era, he was maskless. So now here he is. He's there in front of these strippers. I guess he's maskless, putting the team at risk because he's there at practice on Monday, I guess. And now he had a conversation with the head coach, Ron Rivera, and they're handling it internally. Now, here's the interesting thing with this. Alex Smith had been starting for the last few weeks. He couldn't go because of the leg soreness, they called it. So Dwayne Haskins comes in there. You have an opportunity now, Dwayne, to show, hey, you can lead this team and you can be mature about it. Because, yeah, they spent the draft pick on you, but the head coach, Ron Rivera, doesn't seem like he wants you there. So it's okay. Doesn't seem like he wants you there. So go out there, prove your worth, do your thing, but you got to act like an adult off the field as well. And that did not happen, apparently. Now, the reporting of this, very, very sketchy because ESPN and other outlets reported he was in a strip club. Now they're saying, oh, no, man, it was a private party. Look, regardless, man, look, Dwayne Haskins, he's on camera. He got caught over here hanging out with strippers without a mask. Okay. But, this is the thing that really makes people not like the media, because you go out here, you can't even get the location right. You're gonna come out here and say that he hung out at a strip club and then come on back. Oh no, man, it was reported that he was at a private party. That should be 101 there. You should know the location. This is terrible for the media. This is, again, another black eye for the media. And you know me, Patrick, I went to school for this stuff. I got a bachelor's degree in it. I do it in the military. And the main thing they teach you, be right, or be accurate, not first.
Be right.
Like, this is ridiculous. But it is a bad look on Dwayne Haskins. And now, I mean, because the Washington football team, they don't really have any options. We don't know what Alex Smith's status is. But the main thing is Washington can not necessarily clinch the NFC East, but if they win, they eliminate Philadelphia and Dallas from the race. And the only team they would have to worry about is the Giants. And they have a game with Carolina coming up, winnable game. You just don't need that distraction when you're trying to win a division. As garbage as the NFC East is, you're still trying to win a division.
Well, I mean, look, I get it. They lost. He wanted to go blow off some steam. I get it. I mean, but this is the thing: is there's so many more productive ways of doing that. Don't go out and freaking Gronkowski this and go out on a boat with a bunch of cocaine and a bunch of women. What I'm saying is, pump the brakes. Here's your chance. Alex Smith is sidelined because of sore. I want to say it was a sore knee. He's sidelined. You have an opportunity to take this team and run with it. Because let's be honest, Alex Smith is not. He's getting older, and he's not the quarterback he was 6 years ago, 3 years ago. You can actually take this team and be the future, but you got to do your part. And what I always tell people at work when I manage them, when I help my wife with her salon, my biggest thing was always this: what are you willing to give to gain? Are you willing to give up this strip club, this life that you think you need, so that you can be a starting quarterback for a professional football team? I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't need no strip club for that. I don't. Bro, strip club, gone. Guess what? I'm about to be throwing some TD passes, bro. Simple as that. What are you willing to give to gain? And he is not willing to give that up. Chances are he probably will not be the starting quarterback.
And it's simple priorities.
Yeah.
What do you prioritize? Do you want to put in the work to be the best, or are you just happy just being in that position? And that's the fundamental question you have to ask yourself.
Prime example. And I hate to bring him up because he's done really well in his life moving forward. Prime example. Look at Michael Vick. Had the world handed to him on a freaking silver platter. What did he do? Stop studying film, started dogfights, going to clubs. Now look at him. He's all the potential to be a Hall of Fame quarterback. Now he's just another guy.
Yeah.
I hate it. He had the talent, but now he's just another guy.
It's
heading in the same direction.
The thing with Michael Vick, so it's unique about Michael Vick because I think there's still an opportunity he may make it to the Hall of Fame. He might. Definitely not like a first ballot or anything like that, but there's a chance he still might get in. He has some records still as a running quarterback. There's a chance he still might get in, but it wouldn't have even been a question had he put in the work and did the things he was supposed to do.
The man was that talented. He just put in this much more work. That's all he needed to do. That's it. And if he would have put in this much work, he'd probably have 2 Super Bowl rings on his finger. And that's what's sad.
And the one thing I will say also about Michael Vick, and I'm sure you'll agree with this, even after all that, man, he has done a really good job of repairing his life, repairing the image that he had about himself. He has done things for numerous organizations to kind of help on
several of them right now.
Yeah, and
as a matter of fact, he even does, and I can't stand this company. I can't stand PETA, but he does things with PETA that makes me respect him. I don't respect PETA at all because I think PETA, yeah. But he's the face of many organizations. What's that?
What about the rats?
What about the rats? You need to post that story again. But he's the face of so many organizations that you have to respect him, and he's doing a fantastic job of repairing that image. And many people has forgiven him about that, but there is still a lot of people out there that still hold it over his head.
Yeah, and so and then I guess the main thing with this story with Dwayne Haskins and Michael Vick as well is, look, these opportunities are precious. There are a lot of people who would love to be in your shoes. Like you said, he has the opportunity to be the starting quarterback for the Washington football team when they were the Redskins. This is one of your most storied franchises in the NFL. And you have the chance to put this team, you'll have to have them ride with you on the back because you're trying to get them back to prominence. It's been a while since the Washington football team has been able to be talked about on this level. And it is just, it's not happening with you not taking your responsibility seriously.
Yeah.
So, all right, well, let's get on Pittsburgh. And the Steelers, they're on a losing streak, 3 games in a row after starting 11-0. But this loss is bad. You could kind of understand them losing to Washington because of the defensive line they have, being able to put some pressure on Roethlisberger. You can understand them losing to Buffalo. Buffalo looks like they are coming. Buffalo looks very strong right now.
It's about the only loss I really understand.
They should have beat Washington. Absolutely.
They should have beat Washington. But I do see where you're coming from.
Yeah. there is no excuse
To lose to the Bengals.
for Pittsburgh to lose to a Cincinnati Bengals team that was 2-10-1 and on their third string quarterback. Ryan Finley was looking like Michael Vick out there. Speaking of Michael Vick, and and another thing that I wanted to cover with this, Patrick, was Juju Smith-Schuster. So here he is. He's out here doing TikTok dances where he goes out to the other teams, the middle of their field, and anybody who watches these football games know that emblem is huge on the middle of the field where you are playing at. He's doing TikTok dances, doing his thing on the emblem, and these teams are remembering this, specifically the Bengals and the Bills, because those games were in those specific cities, and they're blowing him up. Like they are searching him out. So now the head coach, Mike Tomlin, said he's going to talk to Juju about this. And I guess basically tell him, hey, this is a respect thing. And look, it could be seen. So here's the thing, Patrick. This could be seen as one of those petty things. It could. But I could totally understand another player who is on that opposing team, the home team, and them not liking this dude just coming on here doing TikTok dances on the
That's
like,
not
yeah. Like, yeah, I think I would want to look you up too. Absolutely.
Oh, bro. I'm gonna think right now. Let me be the head coach of any team, and Juju start doing his dance, and I'm be like, triple team that dude. They'd be like, well, what about I don't give a crap. They're gonna beat us. Triple team him. And if you can do whatever you need to do. Yes, I am going to call it. I am New Orleans Saints. Yes, I am. I am head hunting. You dance on my emblem. Let's go.
And Patrick, I think to a degree, every team has that mentality. Every team does. You are
Absolutely.
not going to come onto my home field and disrespect that. You're not going to be dancing on my emblem like that. That's not going to happen. You're gonna. There's some consequences that's going to come from that. And so Juju Smith-Schuster, he wants to say that it's a fun thing. Look, man, these other players are not looking at that as fun. They're looking at that as a sign of disrespect.
Oh no, it's fun. Dance on it.
Yeah.
Dance on it. We're gonna have fun. Juju.
Juju. And so, like yesterday, I was watching the game, and he came through the middle, and a safety laid him out and made him fumble the ball, and Cincinnati got a recovery. And I guess the guy, oh man, I cannot remember his name. I want to say it was like either like Kevin Bell or Kevin Bush or something like that. But yeah, man, he hit him, and they asked him, "Hey, what were you thinking? What were you thinking when you made that hit? Oh, it's number 19. I got to get him." That's what he said. And
I
so,
like it.
yeah, and that's the
I
thing.
like it.
When you do stuff like that, people remember. That's the thing. So if you're gonna go out here and you're gonna make all these moves, you're gonna do all these dances, you're gonna celebrate in the end zone, that's fine. Cool. We always say, if you don't want to see that, stop them from scoring. Stop them from doing that. But at the same time,
Same rule applies. You don't want to
yeah,
see them dancing on the emblem? Stop them from doing it.
stop them from doing it. And then just remember, if you are gonna be that one dancing on the emblem, people remember. So just
Oh, I'll hit you late. Go ahead. I'll run up to the ref and throw the flag for him. I'll be like, bro, I'm fixing to hit him. Be like, why'd you throw the flag? Because I was gonna do it anyway. Throw the flag for me. I didn't want him to hurt. I didn't want him to hurt his elbow because he's gonna throw this thing. I'm gonna throw it for him because yeah. Go ahead, Juju, dance, baby, dance. I'm gonna come and dance with you.
Well, Well, here's the situation, Patrick, with the Steelers. To sum everything up with them, so now they're 11-3. The Cleveland Browns are in play now to actually win the AFC North. Steelers are reeling. They have the Indianapolis Colts coming in. That's not going to be an easy game there. And they finished the season at Cleveland. So that
Ooh,
game very well could be for the AFC North. Very well could be.
yep.
Pittsburgh, they look like I don't think none of us, neither one of us thought they were better than the Chiefs. I mean, I get they were undefeated, but we didn't think they were better than the Chiefs. We weren't calling the Steelers the best team in the AFC. But this is a fall. They are reeling right now, and they don't look good at all. Offensively, they look sick. Defense, they're battling some injuries. They don't look like a team that is ready for the playoffs. And I mean, all these teams are playing at a high level. You just look at these records, and this is off the top of my head. The Chiefs, 13-1. Buffalo, 11-3. Pittsburgh's 11-3. Tennessee, who I think is the leader of the AFC South, is 10-4. The Colts are 10-4. Miami's 9-5. Like these, these are your records here. So you're reeling. Be careful. Find yourself on the outside looking in. Be careful.
I'm gonna tell you, man, that Buffalo team is for real.
Yes, they look like they are starting to peak at the right time. And if we're going to get this version of Josh Allen, look out. Look, Josh Allen, and I'm going to say this, I was wrong about Josh Allen. I thought it was going to take him a long time to develop. We knew he had the arm talent. We knew he had a very, very strong arm. But to just kind of dial that down, become accurate with the throws, anticipate the throws, and be able to use that mobility to not only extend plays, but to just run and get first downs. Also, he's just making all the right decisions right now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a good fit because his toughness actually seems to fit that town. That Buffalo and Western New York, just kind of one of those tough towns in the streets. It just kind of fits everything that they're about up there. And it's good to see those fan bases. Buffalo and Cleveland actually have a team to cheer about. Unfortunately, COVID has kept them from filling these stadiums up and being part of it. But it's good to see them have something to cheer about finally.
Yeah,
So,
better than them piece of crap Falcons.
huh?
This is better than that piece of crap Falcons.
Stop. So, Patrick, Patrick, one more quick.
Blew another lead, bro.
Huh?
They blew another lead.
I know.
17-0 at the half. And they lose 31.
Sorry, Patrick. Well, hey,
New quarterback. They're Trevor Lawrence. Let's just get him because if we're going to lose, we might as well lose with somebody young.
So Patrick, before we get out of here, we want to get a quick little NBA topic in here because I know you can rant all day on the Falcons, but
Good.
with the NBA, so this is turning into a hot mess with James Harden. He shows up to training camp. Fat. Just gonna call it what it is. He was out of shape. Now looking a little pudgy out there, and he's on, I guess, all these pictures, videos, whatever of him just basically partying. Um, and so in Vegas, hang out with rappers, stuff like that. So now he gets back. He's not, I guess, not happy with the direction the team is going, although the team basically came to him in advance with all these moves that were being made. And now the team is garbage because of basically your decision making. But now, I mean, he's getting in fights with people, or not necessarily fights, confrontations, we'll call them, with teammates during practices and stuff. This just looks like a toxic environment right now with James Harden. The problem is who's going to take that contract? If you're going to trade this man, James Harden is averaging, Patrick, $44 million per year for the next 3 seasons. Who the hell is going to take that?
Jerry Jones?
Who?
Jerry Jones?
He got to go to another sport.
I go to another sport to even find somebody to take that one. Nobody. $44 million? Oh my God. Wow. I didn't even know it was that much. Jeez.
Yes, because he is signed to like a supermax.
He's in Houston, man. He's in Houston for a while. He ain't going nowhere. Nobody's going to take that deal. Plus, nobody wants a fatty on their team.
He got to be in shape. And so
That's not being a puffer fish.
Yeah, dude, if you're supposed to be the franchise player, you have to set a better example than that. And and I get it. If you're upset, you want to be a trade, you want to trade, you want to get out, whatever. But dude, you need to make sure your stuff is taken care of. I'll say one more thing before we wrap it up. This whole player empowerment movement. Look, a lot of people want to give the credit to LeBron James for starting this player empowerment movement. I get that if you want to go there, but the one thing you cannot say about LeBron James, whether you don't like him, whether you like him, whatever the case, you and I, we don't necessarily like him, of course, but the one thing you can say about him is he has finished his contracts, or at least up to the opt-out year. But you know, so look, Patrick stayed in Cleveland for 7 years. Stayed in Miami for 4, stayed in Cleveland for 4. And then he opted out, yes, but that's a clause in the contract. He did finish his contracts out.
He finished his contract. He finished your contract, I guess.
Yeah, and the thing is, because people were like, oh, well, none of this would be possible if it wasn't for LeBron. Well, LeBron wasn't necessarily coming out saying, trade me in the middle of the contracts. I mean, he was doing other things that made you think, you know, he was garbage, like cryptic tweeting and stuff. But at least he finished the contracts out. These other dudes, they're going out here and they're like, man, I just signed a 4-year deal. Trade me. After a year, homie, you just signed this contract.
6 months, bro.
Yeah. And so that you can say he had a hand in leading that movement, but these other players are out of control with it, man. You sign 3-4 years, at least do half of it before you want to sit here and demand trades. If not, then you shouldn't have signed a deal.
I agree.
Okay.
I mean, what can I say? Look, it's the one thing that we've always said. We've always said this, man. If you're going to sign a contract, do your contract, you know? I mean, look, I get it. Everybody should, truthfully, everybody should have an opt-out. Everybody should have one nowadays because you just never know. I mean, you're gonna probably offend somebody in the city that you play in, or somebody's gonna offend you. I mean, let's be honest. The NBA, NFL, MLB, golf, hockey, everybody's a bunch of damn babies anyway. They whine so much that they get mad. I mean, you're playing hockey. I remember when you played hockey, somebody hit you, you got back up and you try to hit them back legally. You know what I mean?
Yes.
These babies get up right now. Oh, he hit me. Come on, dude. You're in the dirt. You're right in front of the goalie. They call that the dirty area. Okay, you're right in front of the goalie. Come on, you don't think a blue liner is going to not hit you, bro? You get in my dirty area, I'm going to blast the shit out of you. Juju, go dance on my logo. See what happens, bro. I'm gonna blast you. I don't get it. We're in a time where there's just a bunch of babies. They're a bunch of kids that, you know, they don't get their way and they start opting out. You didn't give me a one-on-one for 45 minutes every 15 minutes. Do you need that much? Do you want me to hold your hand through life? Well, yeah. No, I can't do that. Then trade me. Trade me because I want to find somebody that is going to hold my hand through life. Well, maybe you should go back home to mommy. And even mommy's going, get the hell out of my house, man. I've already raised you. Go. I don't know. Raised a bunch of babies in this time, man.
Oh boy. On that note, we're gonna wrap it up. Merry Christmas, y'all.
Merry
Be
Christmas.
sure. Y'all be sure to go to the Breath of Fresh Air YouTube channel and smash that subscribe button and keep the lights coming on the Breath of Fresh Air Facebook page. Honestly, I do not know how the schedule is going to be leading up to the new year. We'll just play it by ear, and whatever comes out, comes out. In the meantime, Merry Christmas to everybody. Everybody be safe, be sensible, be smart, whatever. Just come back in one piece.
Don't you it up.
Yeah. So everybody take care of themselves. And Patrick, you have anything to add before we go?
That's it. Just Merry Christmas. And if we do not get on this webcast, which I doubt that will be a problem, but if we don't, Happy New Year.
All right. Well, everybody take care and we will talk soon.
So, the whole thing on the car. Yeah, man.